You're listening to Season 7 of the Angry Football Fans Podcast, where your hosts Scott, Giant Mike, Cardone, and Novak rant about the putrid displays of their teams, grumble about the shenanigans in the NFL, and gripe about everything else in between. We also list our pet peeves and take listener questions. Download our podcast wherever you get yours, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a blast doing this, and hope you enjoy as well.
2026 regular season, we now know that the first Sunday night will feature the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants on NBC and Peacock. 8th time in 15 years that Dallas and New York get together week one. This one will be at MetLife Stadium, and it will feature a Cowboys team that has a great offense. They're trying to make the defense better. Caleb Downs, the 11th overall pick in the draft. They hope he's going to make a huge difference at safety. You've got the Giants, who added Arvell Reese, another former Ohio State player who's going to create havoc defensively. You've got John Harbaugh as the new head coach. Jackson Dart, expectations for him in year two. There have been some Cowboys-Giants games in recent years that haven't been as good as games in past years. This could be the dawn of a new era where these two teams really do jostle to try to take over the division, a division that the Eagles are desperately trying to keep in their grip.
So that's Mike Florio talking about the Giants-Dallas home opener on the first Sunday night of the year. And this will mark 8 out of the last 15 years that the Giants will play the Dallas Cowboys to open up a season. I don't think there's another two teams that have had this type of schedule over the last 15 years, but of course we get that. So we're here to break down the schedule release. We are the Three Angry Giant Fans and a Jet Fan podcast with your host Scott, Cardone, and Jets fan Novak. Giant Mike is he's on his off-season sabbatical. I think he's in Turkey. It's Myanmar.
I think he's in Burma, trying to get an expense report approved and signed by Peterman or something.
When it's off season, Mike is off season, man. He is checked out.
I'll tell you who's not off season is the New York Knickerbockers.
That is there. Right.
Go New York, go New York, go.
You went right there, right to the Knicks.
Why would we wait? Like it's all I can think about. I mean, yes, we're going to talk about the schedule release and the Jets and the Giants and all of that, but is there anything more exciting than this Knicks team?
Nothing.
No, I mean, yeah, 4 more wins. And Cardone and I were talking about this. Of my 4 major sports teams, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Rangers, I have not had a championship since '94 Rangers, and even then, the Knicks I'm a bigger Knicks fan than a Rangers fan. I barely paid attention. I really haven't seen anything for like 40 years in '86. So I am over freaking due for a championship.
I got to ask you guys this. Is there any other NBA team that brings out the old players when they're on a run like this, like the Knicks do? Courtside, you got Ewing there, Starks, even Latrell Sprewell's there, Bernard King.
I know. Yeah. Dusting these guys off. No, because I think we're so starved for a championship.
Yep.
Celebrities, we know all the freaking celebrities that are at the game. They must show these guys that's fine now. I'm on board with everything. I don't care. Nothing is annoying me about the Knicks right now in terms of all of it.
No.
So yeah, they're wheelbarrowing these guys out there because we're so desperate and starved for a championship that everybody wants to be a part of it. And everybody, how can you not?
Absolutely. And I am happy to say I was dead wrong about Mike Brown. Dead wrong. I was unhappy with that hire. I thought it was, they're going to be a middling team. And we can go 10, 11 deep on that bench. I mean, our 11th guy is getting playing time, or 10th guy. Very different than Thibodeau. They are exciting. They can score. They can play defense. I don't know that they're going to win if they play OKC, but man, they are fun to watch.
Oh, come on, man. They have a good chance.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but and you guys know I'm a Villanova fan, so to see the Villanova trio,
yeah.
I wish DiVincenzo was still there. Maybe we find a way to bring him back somehow, reacquire him and get that whole unit back. So there's a championship bloodline there or something with these guys, so they know how to win, man.
You know who was one of the Knicks on that 1999 team that lost to the Spurs in the finals?
Well, let's see. It was Camby and Sprewell and Houston.
Rick Brunson.
Yeah.
Brunson was on that team.
That's right. Mm-hmm. God, did he even get any playing time? I don't even remember.
He was like the Tyler Kolek of the '99 team.
Garbage time.
Yeah, he's a garbage time guy.
That's right.
So the schedule release came out. We were going to record last week. We had some technical difficulties, and we decided to push it because you know what, guys? The schedule doesn't change between the time it's released and the time they actually play it. So
Yeah.
we actually had some time to absorb the schedule, take a look at what's going on. But before we get into it, I wanted to point out we had 6 downloads of our last episode from Ireland, and we had
Ireland.
and we had 3 from Sweden. So we're cornering that northern area in Europe.
Inga from Sweden. Was it her?
Would you like to try my rucksack?
That was when they were cabined up with Beaks.
Yeah.
Right? Good Clarence Beaks.
Didn't we just talk about him like a week ago? Or
something? Yeah, we were talking about the Breakfast Club, and I showed it. I gave you the
somehow we were talking about
the bowls. You're getting the horns.
Yeah, Paul Gleason, right? I'm like, oh, that's Vernon. He was also Clarence Beaks.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give a shout out, and this one's going to be an international one.
Yes.
So we'll see how well I do with the pronunciation too.
Oh, geez.
Hello, Beauharnois, Quebec. Population 18,000. It was named for the Battle of Beauharnois, and in 1836 between Lower Canadian Loyalists and Patriot rebels. It's the home of the world's largest run-of-rivers hydroelectric plant. So it's a suburb of Montreal, which is interesting because Montreal is in the Eastern Conference Finals with Carolina Hurricanes right now. So we have some listeners in Canada, we have listeners in Ireland, we have listeners in Sweden, and guys, if I tally it up, we've been in so far 62 other countries on our own.
Damn,
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, can we get some more scratch from doing this? What are we doing?
So if you watch us on video, like, do you automatically get subtitles in these other, like, how, like, what?
I think they're expats that are just excited about the Giants.
Huh.
So was it, you said Beauharnois or Beauhardo?
Beauharnois. So it's Beauharnois.
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 I mean, come on, right?
Hanglays. It sounds like. Yeah, is that the chicken place?
I think it is. I think you're right, Novak.
I mean, I would think, right? Beauharnois.
Wow.
Let's say it right. But
French.
Yeah.
I don't know. Patrick Waugh was ROY.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Well, nonetheless, Quebec is a great city, and we have a fan there, which is fantastic.
Yeah, welcome.
The only city in the world that still celebrates a team that hasn't played there in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Although Quebec,
well, no, the Whalers,
Quebec
the Hartford Whalers.
Oh, Hartford, that's true. That's the other one.
Quebec is a province.
Okay, that's fair.
It's true.
Yeah.
So just I mean, Canadian knowledge there. But there was both Quebec City and Montreal, which are the two big areas up there.
Yeah.
Because I think Ottawa is actually in Ontario, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the schedules are out. Guys, I was steaming hot when I saw that the Giants had to play 2 primetime games to open up the year, and then my anger subsided. So I'm going to go through the Giants schedule. We could talk about after that. But week 1, home against Dallas, at least it's home Sunday night. Week 2 at the Rams, opening up their home opener
brutal
Thursday night. So again, prime time. Brutal. But then we come back to Death and we play Tennessee and Arizona back-to-back weeks 3 and 4. Then we go on the road to Washington. Washington, the District of Columbia. And then we have New Orleans at home, go to Houston, and have our bye week 8, which is, I think, the earliest we've had a bye in the last 4 or 5 years.
Really good so far.
And then after the bye, we're at Philadelphia, which
nice.
I'll give a little caveat there. It's not as bad as you think it might be doing that. Then we play Washington on the Thursday night at home. Mm-hmm. So that's our 3rd and final primetime game, which is 3 more than the Jets will have had.
No, 1 more later, Scott. There is none.
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah.
Is it Detroit? Yeah.
Yeah. Late in the year.
Yep, you're right. And then we're home against Jacksonville. We go to Indy week 12, week 13, home against San Francisco, at Seattle, and then we come back home against Cleveland, and then the closing stretch 16, 17, and 18 is at Detroit, at Dallas, and we close the season home against Philly. So that Detroit game is a Monday nighter, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So four primetime games, which I'm sure is just the Harbaugh factor. And guys, I got to tell you, first glance, like I said, I was angry about opening up on those two games prime time, but after that, looking at the bye, week 8, if we're not 4-3 at the bye, I think we're off track.
Yeah. Yeah, like when we talk about the leaks every year, right? And this year was no different, of course. So we knew that Dallas was a Sunday night game. That was the first thing we knew. Opening up. And like you said, Scott, 8 times in the last 15 years. Is the country not sick to death of this matchup on week 1? Think about it. I'm sick to death of it.
Yes.
Because I just can't. It's disgusting seeing Dallas every year, or week 2. I want to see of those other 7 years, how many times we played them also in week 2. It happened last year. Because don't forget, we were on the road for 2 division games to start the season last year. The second one at Washington, at Dallas. So what? And then the Monday nighter at Los Angeles, the Rams. That's pretty brutal. I already feel it's a must-win anyway because you got to win the home opener. We've been talking for years now. The Giants have not gotten off to good starts in like 8, 9, 10 straight years. I think it was 22, and maybe it was the only year they started off well.
The 2 years in the last 10 that they've won their home opener, they've gone to the playoffs.
They've gone to the playoffs. Yeah, 2016 and 2022.
Well, actually, not home opener, just their opening game. Yeah.
Okay. Or just okay. Right. Yeah. So that home opener against Dallas, and this is if the Giants are going to turn it around, which we think they will. They're going to be tested right away. At least the games at home, which they haven't been great at home. We know they haven't been great at prime time, but this is going to be a different. We think this is a different Giant team. It should be. It's going to look different, right? So, but it still feels like a must-win week 1 because if you lose that, the Giants lose week 1, then you're talking about going on the road to a Ram team that is a Super Bowl contender at LA. That's their home opener. They're not winning that game. I can already see how are you winning that game?
Nope.
And there we go, sitting in that fucking 0-2 hole potentially. So that's why week 1 is going to be just a wreck fest, as I call it. I'll be a nervous wreck watching that game. But then, as you said, Scott, after we've been talking on our pod here. You just give us some winnable games in September and October, and the schedule makers finally did that. So you went through the week by week schedule there, and to have the next 4 weeks, Tennessee, Arizona, New Orleans at home, and then slip in at Washington. I'll throw even at Washington in there. I think that's a winnable game too. That's 4 winnable games right there early in the season. So if they are able to beat Dallas, let's just assume. Not assume, but if they're able to beat Dallas, you almost throw away the Ram game because I don't see how they're going to be able to. The Rams are coming off. They'll also be on, by the way, a 13 or 12 or 13 day rest because they're playing in the opening Wednesday night or something like that, aren't they? And where are they? Australia or some shit like that.
Yeah. So they're playing the opening game. Okay, and it's on a Wednesday night right. I think it's Wednesday night, their time, Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, so they have all that travel and stuff coming back, but nonetheless. And then I like the fact that at Houston's going to be very tough. We know that their defense is still going to be, it's going to be another one of the better defenses in the league. At least they have the bye week before at Philly, so it's not true 2 road games in a row there. I like that. I like where the bye is, and then we have a couple more home games. This is the year the NFC gets the extra home games, so it makes a big difference when you see it on paper to see 9 home games versus the 8 versus AFC Novak this year with the Jets. That rotates every year, of course. And then, the Giants rotate, a couple of home and away for about 5 weeks, I think. And then, Scott, you meant those last 3 games. Here's the thing about that. At Detroit, at Dallas, Philly, you don't know what those games will mean every year. Those teams could have maybe a seed wrapped up or Philly, who knows? Let's assume, maybe Philly wins the division again or something like that. They may not need that game. Say the Giants need one of those games to slip into a wild card spot or something. So it's not that bad that you have some really tough games, the last couple of weeks of the year. So I'm actually not pissed at the schedule this year, aside from, maybe the first 2 weeks that are going to be tough. They're both in prime time. They got a lot of 1 o'clock games on Sunday. I think we kind of like that for our social activities that we usually like to partake in on our favorite watering hole. We'll do that a lot this year. I know we'll get into Novak's game one, once we break down the Jets here a bit. But I got to be honest, for our listeners and for us, I'm actually not that pissed this year. I think for once the early part of the season has some favorable games and some winnable games, and maybe just maybe, by the time, like you said, Scott, by the time we go to the bye week and mid-season, we could be at least a game over 500 or something, and at least give us some meaningful games in November going into December. So. I think the Giants got a pretty decent schedule. I really do. I think I'm not too pissed.
And I felt that it was favorable this year that the schedule makers finally did something right here in terms of travel. So the Giants only have 2 sets of games where they are away back to back, and one of them is broken up by a bye. So they're at Houston, a bye, and then they're at Philly. And then the next stretch was that 1 week 16 and 17 at Detroit and then at Dallas. I think that's reasonable. I can't stand when you see some of these schedules that come out that you have, a 3-game, 4 out of 5 games you're on the road. It does not make sense at all to do that. Now we do have a stretch there where we're at home against San Francisco. We go on the road at Seattle, come back for Cleveland. That's fine. You're traveling, you're going to cross country. That is okay with me. And no international games.
No international games, which I'm fine with. I really don't care about those international games to be over there. So, I do want to say though, the fact that they're at Detroit on a Monday night and then have to go back on the road at Dallas, that's pretty brutal because you're essentially losing an entire day and a half the week before, and then having to go down to Dallas the week after being on the road on a Monday night. That is pretty brutal.
But we will talk about when we get to Peacock's question, but Dallas does have a couple brutal parts in their schedule in terms of
they do. You're right. They do.
Of travel. So
I think real quick, Novak, and then we'll get to the Jets. Being that there's so many, and we'll get into this. I think overall, like Scott, if you want to talk about the NFL scheduling and as a general, because there's so many freaking games now. Like Thanksgiving Eve, Black Friday, Saturday games. The NFL has gone crazy with all these, with scattering these games around. It's hard to find a schedule. Like everybody's schedule seems brutal in one way or another. You know what I mean? Like there's teams. They seem to be stacking up road games, stacking up home games. Crazy kind of travel all over. Like I reviewed a number of different teams, and there's a lot of teams with just some crazy. Scheduling anomalies, if you will, this year. So more than ever. So
when Scott was going through your games, I always like to listen to the last 3-4 games. I had you at 8-6 going into those last 3 games, which are what? Dallas, Detroit, and Philly.
Yep.
Other way. Well, at Detroit, at Dallas, and Philly at home.
But those are the 3 teams you're playing.
Those are the 3 games.
Which are 3 tough games. But and I'm not saying that's right, but you have a fairly not easy, but you have a softer middle of the schedule game list. And if you could be there, if you could be 8-6 going into those last 3 weeks, you have to think one of those 3 teams is probably not as good as we think they're going to be. And then you got to pick off one more. This team could win 10 games.
You never know because is Jacksonville going to be as good? Is Indianapolis going to be as good?
It's hard to know.
It's hard to know.
Houston was good last year. But, that was all defense. Have they really improved? I haven't seen them make it. If their quarterback is as bad as he was in the playoffs, they could be just a disaster and, that type of thing. You just don't know.
Yeah.
What I like is that, I like it and I don't. If we're not competitive after Halloween this year, then we have severe problems because if we can't do it early in the season, we're not going to do it late in the season. So that is the thing. Before the bye being on week 8, if we're not at 4-3 or better, we are looking at, missing the playoffs again and then having a long off season.
If you do lose week 1 and week 2, which I don't think you will, I think you'll beat Dallas, but if you are 0-2 and you go to that Titan game, which is a must win, you get a little tighter. If for some reason you lost that, forget it. It could spiral. It could spiral.
Stop it.
I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that's where it spirals.
Right. I know here it is, May, but it's true though, Novak. I think, the Dallas game, I already have a good feeling about it. I think the Giants.
I think you're going to win that game.
I kind of have a feeling like that's one where I feel more on the 50% side that we're going to win that game versus that's shit, we're not beating Dallas. There's no chance. This and that. No, we definitely have. I think I already have a good feeling about that game, and it's months away. But
we still don't know if Neighbors and Scatabo will be there. Week one though. That's part of
that's
an
issue.
But
that's a big issue for sure.
Yeah.
But we have all of our we should be stacked on our defensive line going into week one. So it's
our worst nightmare is going 0-2, like Novak said, then watching week 3, Saleh and Dable like pumping their fists as they're leaving the field.
Right.
Can you imagine?
I forgot Dable is there. That's right. Jeez.
Oh yeah.
And like half the Giants, isn't like Flott there now? And,
Flott's there. Wandale
Robinson.
Flott, Bellinger. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. God.
Not Koo though, the kicker.
Oh, he's a Jet now, so great.
Hey, I don't know if you heard this story. Did you guys ever hear the story about Koo saving someone's life?
Yeah, I did see. I heard about that.
So Cardone, a guy saw Koo's kick and laughed so hard that he just started I think coughing uncontrollably from the laughter. And he ended up going to the hospital and they found out he had cancer.
Oh my God.
So they caught the cancer in time to treat him. And if they hadn't, they don't think they would have caught it. So Koo's fuck
credit
up.
Koo. Yeah. So by the way, it's funny. We're laughing about it now. I don't know. Did we ever go back on the Koo fucking pitching wedge planted in the dirt? We are talking about that kick.
We are,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So did that officially go down as an attempt?
I think
does the record books, because what do you put in there? Wide right or wide short? You know how they describe the kick?
That's a good question.
I don't think that can be, there's no way that's an attempt, because if anything, it's probably
But he swung his leg.
But but he never made contact with the ball. I think it's the same as a fucking fake kick attempt. And what's his name? The Hammer probably went in the statistical record book as a rush for minus 12 yards or whatever it was on that play. Don't you think?
I think you're right.
I think you're probably right. You're right.
There's no way. So Koo, it's his fuck up, and he doesn't even get the missed field goal attempt on that.
Does it go down as a bad snap? I don't know how.
I think it just goes down as a rush for minus 12.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, maybe you're right, because the Scottish Hammer had to rush, right?
Yeah, he had no choice but to to pick up the ball and just carry it. Run away with it.
Has he been picked up by anybody? The Hammer?
I don't think he has yet.
Absolutely not, because the guy, we said he wouldn't be picked up, and the guy was on our roster for 4 years.
That's a Joe Shane special right there.
That's a Shane. Yep.
Hey, we didn't talk about it. Joe Shane gets extended. So
but did I tell you guys why though?
Because he serves good coffee?
He does. He introduced Harbaugh to iced coffee, and Harbaugh was very impressed by it. And he put Keurigs in everyone's office and did away with coffee pots. And so they were very impressed by this work ethic, and he got an extension. Good for him.
No percolators?
No, he's all Keurig. From what I've read, he did his homework on it, put a lot of time and effort into it, had all those folders in his backpack, and he got an extension. Good for him. Coffee boy.
I'll tell you, I've been using a Keurig for years. It's one of the best inventions of my lifetime. It really
is. No doubt. And
Shane
knew it.
I used to wake up in the morning at my grandparents' house, and I would just hear the gurgling.
Yeah,
the percolator.
The old percolator.
When they were making coffee back in the old pot with the little spout.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember that thing? That inside was that fucking stainless steel thing. It looked like a mini dryer drum inside. You know what I'm talking about? Inside the pot. Yeah. I don't know what that was.
I wonder what the coffee experience used to be like. I mean, I think you just brewed Maxwell House and drank it black back then, because it wasn't like you could go to the corner and find a Starbucks or anyone with decent coffee.
It was like when Bookman went to Seinfeld's apartment and he was like, "You don't keep a Senka?"
Yeah.
Senka.
Folgers freeze dried. You throw it in the freezer and forget about it. When you're there, when you want it, you need it. Like
Bookman was the best.
You know what was in my house growing up? So Novak in Lincroft, my grandparents. We live with my grandparents. We had those gigantic containers of chock full of nuts.
Chock full of nuts.
So that was the ground coffee. And then my grandfather, Gramps, we just called him Gramps for short. We had like 50 of those in the garage with fucking like nuts and bolts inside. Those coffee containers, just housed, random, nuts and bolts and random tools and shit out there. Yeah, that's what was in my garage. Those big chock full of nut containers.
If I were a better singer, I would sing the chock full of nuts jingle, which was a hilarious. I remember it back in the day.
Chock full of nuts is that
heavenly coffee. Heavenly coffee. So back on the football stretch, we got the Jets schedule. So Jets, again, week 1, we're looking forward to it at Tennessee. So Saleh plays the Jets. Dable will be there. Week 2, they come home and face Green Bay. Week 3 at Detroit. Week 4 at Chicago. Week 5 home for Cleveland. Week 6 at New England. Week 7 home for Miami. Then week 8 home for Las Vegas. Then they go at Kansas City, home for Buffalo. Week 11 they're at the Clip. Then they're at Miami. They have their bye week 13, so a pretty late bye. And then after the bye, they host Denver, go to Arizona, host New England, host Minnesota, and finish up at Buffalo. Couple of things to note: no primetime games, a ton of 1 o'clock on Sunday games.
15 1 o'clock games.
It's a throwback. It's a throwback schedule.
I mean, I'm not necessarily upset about the schedule. It's actually harder than it should be for coming in as the second worst team in the NFL. I don't love the fact that, find the Titans and Saleh. We'll get into that in a second. But weeks 2, 3, and 4, you got to play NFC West or NFC Central teams. What? Like, that's odd to me.
Back to back.
Yeah. And the 3 best teams in that division. I don't like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to it, this is an 8-game season for the Jets. It's an 8-game season. If they're anything worse than 3 and 5, I think Glenn gets fired at that point. And I think we see Frank Reich. I think we see Cade Klubnik, and we start prepping for 27. So, and I think they will be. I think they'll be 2 and 6, maybe 1 and 7. They're not going to be good. I'd like to think they'll be improved, but I can't complain when you just look at the schedule. It is what it is. It's not terrible. 1 o'clock games I love. As far as viewing the Jets, this is the best it can be. And you now see what the Dick factor was when we had him. We were on every week. We were on primetime, and we've got none. Not one. Only 3 teams in the league have no primetime games. I think it's the Jets, I want to say the Raiders, and probably the Titans, I think. So, I mean, it is what it is. But the schedule seems very difficult for a 3 and 14 team from a previous year. But, we'll see how it goes.
Guys, neither of our teams, and this next year was one of the ones with the most games outside of the United States, and neither of our teams are playing a foreign game, which we both love the non-international games.
I tell you, when you have that extra road game, it just seems like there's so many acts on the schedule. So the Jets open 4 of the first 6 on the road.
Yep.
And then when if you keep going down further, then they have a couple home games, and then the next 3 out of 4 again are on the road. So I feel like you guys are out there, like the Jets are on the road a lot through November, the first couple months. Yeah, which it's just going to happen that way when you have that extra road game. It just it has to go somewhere, and but doesn't it always seem on paper? It's like, Jesus, it looks like there's really 3 more than like just 1 more, right? It always looks that way.
It needs to be 18 games. It really should be 16. I should never have changed it. But this one team has an extra road game is
I don't like
BS.
it. I don't think they're going to keep that. They'll probably we've talked about this. They're probably going to go to 18 regular season games. Get back to even home and away. It just doesn't look right. I don't like it. I know that's the only thing they can do now is, rotate it back and forth, obviously. But I just don't like that when you have that extra road game. It just makes it that much more challenging.
We were talking about buys earlier, and the Jets have a long or a later bye than most teams at week 13. The Giants are relatively early in week 8. When do you guys like? When's your ideal bye week? I think mine would be like week 9, 10, around there.
Smack in the middle of the season, I think.
I agree.
I mean, I can't pick a particular week, but like somewhere like right in the middle, I would say. Kind of break the season in half. That's what I would prefer.
And honestly, it depends on what the schedule is after.
Yeah.
I would prefer it a little bit later than earlier. Especially, it depends on the age of your team, right? If you're a young team, like the Jets are, I don't think it really matters all that much. But if you're an aging team, or older team, you definitely want it later, I would think.
Yeah. I think you're after the bye is relatively innocuous in that, you play Denver, tough game there, but it's at home. Then you go to Arizona, which is a winnable game. Then you're home for New England and Minnesota.
I don't think New England's
Don't know
going to be
about
that good. I don't. I'm
They'll
sorry.
step back.
I don't think they're going to be the same team. This whole Vrabel scandal is bigger than people give it credit for. There's something not right about that New England team, and of course I'm going to be wrong, and they're going to be 15-2 in the Super Bowl again.
But Novak, I think you're right though, because again, it's one of those years where we've seen this topsy turvy, worst to first kind of thing, and then it goes the opposite way too, where I think for New England last year, everything just kind of went their way.
The road the Super Bowl is ridiculous.
But even in regular season, they just had everything went their way for whatever reason. What they win 13 games, I think, right?
Yeah,
or something.
Something crazy like that.
So
13, 14.
there's no way I'd put any amount of money that they don't come close to that this year. So the Jets do have a late bye. I did see. I was looking at so I go by number of games. So like the Jets go 12 and then 5. So 12 games and then the break, then the bye, then 5. Whereas the Giants go 7-10. 7 games bye, then 10 after that. So
that's I think it's a little early. I think I would have
that seems a little early.
Weeks later.
The Jets definitely seem late, but the Giants, now
you kind of want to be in that 9-10 range. I think is the right number.
Yeah.
Giants do seem a couple weeks early. Then I'd probably prefer.
I think buys start at 5 and end at 14. So
it's better than 5. I would definitely not want one then.
Yeah, 5 sucks.
I mean, geez.
Didn't the Giants have that last year? Were they weak? Where was it?
No, the
early?
Giants were late. Giants were late last year. They were week 14.
It was late because I remember you guys going, can't we just have a bye so we don't have to watch this slop?
Slop.
I think it was week 14, if I'm not mistaken, but it was late.
You got it, Scott. I'm looking at it. It was week 14.
And the Giants,
it was in December. Yeah.
The Giants have traditionally had a later bye, like week 10 or later, So we were talking about the primetime games earlier, and this was brought up. I started looking at this because of when they were talking about the Giants with Dallas, and they were like, the Giants have a horrific record on primetime games, and they put up a graphic where the Giants and the Jets were the two worst teams in primetime games since 2017. So I looked at it. The Giants are 4-24 since 2017 on primetime, and the Jets are 3-17.
Holy crap!
But
so 7-41 combined.
7-41. But I want to ask you this question: how many times do you think our teams were favored to win those games?
You know this answer?
I know this answer. I went and
so 48 games. How many times were the combined total of the Jets and Giants
so we
favored?
Had 7 wins and 41 losses.
Well, hang on. The Giants, they always have more road games in prime time, it seems like. So they're not favored in any of those. God, I don't even like. So combined, what's the what are we trying?
I'm going to say 7.
Close. So the Giants have 4 wins. The Jets have 3 wins. And they've been favored in 8 games. So about where they should have been.
Yeah.
So when you hear this narrative about, well, the Giants suck on primetime, it's like, well, they're constantly playing a team they shouldn't beat.
Exactly.
Well, that's fair.
Same with the Jets too.
Yeah. Well, the Jets suck though. It's different, but the Giants,
we've been complaining about that forever. The Giants they've always had more. In fact, I'm just thrilled that out of the 4 prime time, it's only half and half. 2 home, 2 away.
2 home, 2 away.
Every year we have more road games. And like you said, and they're always like at least a divisional road game, it seems like. This is the first year, right? Because our 2 roadies are LA and Detroit. So we're not on the road in prime time against a division opponent, finally. That's a great thing, though. Like, it's favorite. Right, because they're always playing a juggernaut on the road in prime time. You're not, like you said, you're not supposed to win those games.
No, when you look at it and you have only 7 wins, you're like, well, that really sucks. But when you're only favored 8 times, it really tracks with what you should have
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. I actually think that you guys should be kind of excited about getting the Cowboys at home week one with Harbaugh and Dart coming back, and there's excitement around the Giants again. I think that's when you kind of want to get them, I think.
I am, but I would take Arizona at home week one.
That's fair.
It's just one of those things. Like, why is it constantly
That's
Dallas?
True. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though. I mean, it's better to be home than on the road for the most part.
But
I think out of those 15 games that we've played Dallas to start the year in the last 8 times, I think 6 of them have been in Dallas. So this will only be the second time the Giants have been at home.
I mean, with Harbaugh going there and the excitement around the Giants in New York, you knew you were not getting a nondescript game one. You knew it.
Oh,
no. There's no way that the NFL was going to give you the Jaguars or the Colts or something like that.
Browns at home or something.
No, you knew you were getting the Eagles or the Cowboys or, the Lions or something like that. I knew you were going to get a big game in week one.
And the early rumor was we were going to play the Seahawks to open up their season.
That would have been much worse.
Much worse. Absolutely.
Yeah, much worse. So, to actually get the game at home, that's, a favor right there. And then, but Sunday night, but listen, it's Dallas. We have to play them twice every year, so we know we're going to get them somewhere. So maybe we get them week one, and we beat them week one and flipped it. We flipped the fucking script this year, and we get off to the hot start, and let's put our throat on some of these other NFC East teams to get started. That's all we can hope for.
Yep.
So Novak, any interesting schedules you see from around the league? I know you called out the Chiefs one on the last podcast.
Waiting for that. Yeah. I was waiting for that. I'm gonna try very hard this year to call them the IFL, the International Football League, because we're not a national sport anymore because we had 18 friggin' games around the world. In Australia, get out of here. What are we doing? So I was curious to see what they did with the Chiefs because Mahomes probably won't be back till week 3 or 4, and I predicted that the IFL would give them, the Dolphins and the Raiders and the Jets and all these easy teams to get them off to a decent start with Justin Fields. And I think what the NFL did is they threw us off the stink, and they gave them the Broncos in week 1 just to say we're not going to do that. But then the next weeks they've got Colts at home, Dolphins road, Raiders road. So I wasn't 100% correct, but I see what they're doing. They're going to lose that game anyway. Give them that loss in week 1, and then we'll give them a couple easy ones or 3 easy ones next.
If we could just stay on the Chiefs schedule for a minute, because I remember I looked at this, I think maybe a week or so ago, and then I wanted to bring it up tonight. So after weeks 2, so they open up home against Denver and Indy, as you just said. Do you know 8 of their next 11 are on the road? That's brutal.
Yeah.
8 of 11.
But, there are some tough ones in there. That's true.
I mean, regardless of who you're playing, you go on the road 8 of 11 times. That is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Dolphins, Raiders, Falcons, Cardinals, though, of those 4.
Yeah,
but still, you're right.
Look at some of the road games, though. You're at Seattle, at Denver, at Atlanta, at Buffalo,
the Bills,
at the Clip, at Buffalo, at the Clip, at Cincinnati, all in 3 weeks in a row on the road. That's brutal.
Yeah, they have actually a brutal schedule because they got the 49ers in here. They've got the Rams. They've got the Bills. It's not easy.
So let's keep this team down and out of the playoffs.
You know what I never do? I never put myself in another team's shoes, and I should, because I was going through the Giants schedule, and just like we were talking about earlier, after the first 2 games, I'm like, well, you're home against Tennessee and Arizona. Those are wins. And Tennessee and Arizona fans are going, we're at the Giants. Those are wins.
Probably. Or they're thinking winnable game.
So here's if we want to flip around, of course, after I obviously, lock in on the Giants schedule, usually I go then right to the rest of the NFC East, particularly Philly and Dallas. I'll always, I look at their schedules next, and I'm looking at Philly's schedule right now, and this is grotesque right here. So, they start the season Washington at home, that's a win. Then they go to Tennessee, go to Chicago. Okay. Then if you want to count Jacksonville in fucking London, week 5, they have because it's not a true road game, right? So then they have it as versus, right? Because they can't just put the at symbol. That was one of my pet peeves a couple years ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the next 7 games are at home.
Jesus, how does that happen? How does that happen?
Now, one of those is counting the London game or wherever they're playing. But look at those home games. You got Carolina in there. Now you got you got the Giants, you got Dallas, you got Pittsburgh, who's going to suck. I don't know how they have that many. And then they go on the road for 2 more at Dallas, at Arizona. Then they have another stretch of 3 straight road games again against Indy, Seattle, Houston, and they finish the season at San Francisco, at New York, at the Giants. So they have a stretch in the middle of the season where they're playing like 40 home games at a I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I don't understand how these schedules get made because there's an anomaly at almost, and everyone has a weird anomaly in every schedule that I looked at, whether it's consecutive games on the road or at home, or an international game following a Monday night game, or the Jets playing 3 teams from a NFC in a row to start the season. Like, there's just weird things with everybody. So don't tell me it's a perfect schedule, because it's not. Because it can't be that difficult. I mean, drop it into ChatGPT. The thing will punch out the perfect schedule in about 2 minutes.
That's what AWS does. The perfect schedule. That's so imperfect.
Yeah, their AWS is based on dollars.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else from around the league before we get to pet peeves?
Not as far as the schedule is concerned, no.
All right. Anything from around the league that we haven't talked about?
Are we going to talk about the dart situation?
Yeah, we can talk about that. And the Dart announcing Trump at a rally and causing a firestorm with Abdul Carter, which they've since made up. But
Carter looks like a little wimp. He should not be on social media challenging that. So let me just first say that. And this is not a political take at all. I don't care what you believe in, who you follow. I don't give a crap about that. My only issue, and I said this a couple of weeks ago with Dart, just calm down, dude. You haven't made it yet. You're a 4-8 quarterback. He's announcing presidents. He's at the Kentucky Derby. He's, taking pictures with his Instagram girlfriend. This guy's got to calm it down. He's not a superstar just yet. That's my only issue with him. Like, that's a hot button topic for whatever reason. Just politely say no. Let someone else do it. You don't need to be up there. So I don't know. I don't care who he follows. No one should care. It's sports. It's just like, this guy needs to just tone it down a little bit in my mind.
Well, I think a lot of people jumped at that, especially when Carter put something on social media, and then Carter came back a couple days later and said, Jackson Dart and I talked it out like men, and we don't have any problems, so keep your narratives to yourself. Dart showed up at an event not in a Giants uniform, so he's not representing the Giants. I understand what he's doing, but Novak, I mean, what you're saying, there's going to be a lot of blowback in the future for things Dart does, because I think Dart wants to stay in the limelight. He's going to be our version of the Dick, possibly.
I've seen more in this offseason from Dart than Allen, Mahomes, and Burrow combined. I mean, really? I mean, he's everywhere. Now, I know it's because we follow the New York sports teams, but he seems like this guy is everywhere. He's doing photo shoots and cologne ads, and, he's presidents and parties, and just enough. Like, dude, you haven't made it yet. You're not a superstar yet. You might be, and I think he will be, but he's not. He's 4-8.
Yeah.
I wholeheartily agree with that point, Novak. It's just that, for now, man, just stick to learning how to play quarterback in this league. That's it. Yes. That's your job right now, man. You're going into your second year. As far as and like you said, I don't care what these guys do in their personal lives. I don't care about that part. I really don't. I really only care what happens on the field. So a lot of people like to make a big deal of this kind of stuff, but dude, just yeah, man, you're not a stud. You're not a super stud star right now in New York or in this league. So just stick to football right now and just keep your head down and do that. That's it. That's all.
I think you just and I also think you kind of put a target on your back. You're wearing these crazy clothes with this girlfriend, and you're taking pictures, and you're at parties, and the Kentucky Derby looks like a pimp. Like, Like, just why? You don't need to do it. Like, live your life and focus on football. You're 24 years old. You're going to make millions. You're going to be a great player. We all know it. Just focus on that. Stay
That's
away
it.
from this crap.
Yeah.
He starts banging someone's hot mom like
Look, I dealt with it with Zach Wilson. It's just no different, except Zach Wilson
Yeah.
sucked. But like, you're not going to see like Mendoza doing any of this stuff.
Of course not.
He's like a choir boy. So, and that's what I would prefer, candidly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'll tell you what bothers me a little bit this week is that, I've seen a ton of stuff about Dart and sort of like the commentary on that. And yet Josh Jacobs was arrested, the
Very
running
good
back
point.
for the Green Bay Packers was arrested for a series of what they said is sexual battery against a girlfriend, domestic violence. And you're not hearing hardly anything about that. So the way our country is right now, I mean, we're so focused on politics that we're hypersensitive to what Dart's doing among the other stuff that he's doing. Where you actually have a guy like Josh Jacobs in the news, and no one's really brought that up.
Or Rashee Rice. Didn't he get arrested again?
Yes, he did.
He'll be out there playing for the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs have no morality clause in their contracts.
None. They are just yeah. I can't take.
I've been following too much Knicks basketball in the last month to be even up on these stories. I got to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'll start with pet peeves, Cardone, because that sort of dovetails into what I had, and
all right,
and that's what I fear about the NFL, and we've ranted about this with them, moving back, like where the tackles are moving early and they don't call it, and things that they just. If you remember that play a few years ago where Kadarius Toney jumped early, but it negated a long catch by Kelsey and the Chiefs, and like, well, why did you have to call him moving early? This whole thought about relaxing the rules. Well, that's what the NBA has done over the years. They've relaxed the rules so much that now, guys' signature moves are violations, and they let them have it. Like they will bounce the ball over someone's head, take 4 steps, go to the basket, and everyone cheers and says, "Oh, it's a great play." You got SGA from Oklahoma City falling down every time he takes a shot, and yet instead of getting punished, he gets rewarded by a whistle. And so I'm worried both about the relaxing of the rules and the fact that we take flopping and don't crack down on flopping. And flopping now becomes a part of the game, which it has for the NBA. And to me, it's very exciting that the Knicks are in the finals. It's very hard for me to watch NBA games because I think the style of play is so bad in terms of flopping, just over the top exaggeration. LeBron's been doing it for years. And instead of punishing these guys for doing it, they're getting rewarded. And what I'm fearful about is that this is going to translate to the NFL. So you're going to see more receivers flop as they're going downfield. And of course, it's a 50-yard penalty rather than just a 15-yard penalty. You're going to see offensive linemen get that extra step or two, and no one's going to ever say a word about it 5 years down the road because it'll just be accepted that this is what happens. So it's the whole you take an inch and you end up getting a mile down the road that bothers me with this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that to this point, Scott, just like the NFL, they want offense, they want scoring, they want touchdowns. Like in the NBA, they just want points, and they want, you guys. We grew up in the Ewing era, the 80s, 90s. Remember, it's amazing. I was watching a few clips of the like the 99 finals. You don't have to go back that far. But I guess that was 27 years ago, whatever. But and I remember like they showed. I was watching a clip of the game 5 when the Spurs won that series in 5. The final score was 78-77. Remember those games?
Yeah.
Remember those games like where you were dying for points and the amount of the physicality. These are like I don't know. I worry about that too, Scott. And will the NFL kind of take on more of the are we going to see more PIs and more calls favoring the offense? And probably, right? I mean, it's not going to go back the other way. I don't think. I had to fix something on my computer there for a second. I don't think it's all these leagues want to see. They think the fans, and probably most of them, right? Maybe I don't know if they're the real hardcore fans like us, but they prefer high scoring games, shootouts, you name it, right? And the NBA, I'll be honest, if the Knicks are not there, I'm not watching a sniff of the NBA. I'm not. I don't want to say I'm bandwagoning with the Knicks because I've, I had a love affair with them too my whole life, dying to get a NBA championship with the New York Knicks. But the product is bad. It's a bad product. It's a hard watch. I used to, really love the NBA years and years ago and really didn't watch as much college basketball. And then that flipped where I watch a ton of college basketball versus the NBA. And now college basketball's taken on that same kind of agenda where just the foul calling, just the way games are called and the whistles, it's a little bit unbearable. It is. And we're going to be seeing it next week. So the first time SGA falls to the floor, phantomly with I'm going to be punching a hole in my wall, trying to deal with this guy for 7 games. Who knows?
And it's going to happen. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, the NBA is tough to watch unless you're a fan of the team. Like, I agree with you, Cardone. Like, I tried watching Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and I watched it because I want to kind of see who the Knicks are going to play.
Same.
But it's a tough watch. And a lot of the ones are now. The NFL, I think, is heading in that direction. You're right, Scott. We're seeing it with quarterbacks. Mahomes was doing it. I mean, we've seen that a million times. And I think you're right. We're going to see more of this because they're also cracking down on being too rough. So in order to get the call, because you're not getting the hard hits like you used to, you have to act a little bit to get them. So yeah, I think sadly we're going to see it translate to the NFL, the IFL too.
But when I look at that though, from a fan's point of view, like what fan is ever saying, "Oh, guys, I love flopping. Let's have more flopping."
No one. It's awful.
No one is.
No.
And so when flopping happens and it gets rewarded, who benefits from that? No one does.
No.
A referee should be able to do their job and be able to tell who's faking from who isn't. And if I'm a referee and I see someone faking, I'm going to be hard as hell on that guy.
Yep.
Rather than be lenient. And yet every time these fuckers get the whistle.
And what sport you never see that in? Hockey. And that's the toughest sport there is. You don't see flopping in hockey, and they're pounding each other on and every second.
No, in fact, you get an unsportsmanlike. Don't you get you can get get penalized for flopping in the NHL.
Simulation. Yeah.
Whatever it's called. What's the penalty called exactly?
I think it's simulation.
Is that what it is? I mean, it's rarely called.
Very rarely called.
It happens. It's there. It's in the game.
Unlike soccer, when apparently everyone dies on every possession.
Yeah, that's God Almighty.
What a stupid sport. I hate that sport.
Well, we're about ready to get that shoved down our throats with the amount of flopping.
I'm not going to be into that World Cup stuff. I'm sorry. It just is not for me.
The finale is going to be played at that death.
I just don't care.
Oh, God.
I don't care.
So, Novak, pet peeve.
Yeah. So after this pod is our longest stretch of the year where we're not on a pod. So I thought about my pet peeve, and I don't want to give one that is only going to bother me for a week. I've got to get it off my chest now because it's going to be a long stretch and it bothers me almost daily. And so my pet peeve is, we get video and photographs of Vrabel and Rossini from 7 years ago, and there's paparazzi everywhere with every celebrity. And I've said it before, how are we not getting a picture of the Dick's wife? Come on.
Where
is
Mrs. Dick?
Yeah. Where is Mrs. Dick? How is this still a thing that someone has not just come out and said, the guy's lying? He's lying.
Yeah.
Come on. We all know it. It's very clear.
Does Aaron Rodgers wear a ring? Does he have a
Yes, he does. He wears one of those fake plastic rubber ones.
The one
or whatever.
that Costanza wore when he was trying to pretend to be a married guy to pick up chicks at a cocktail party.
It's like that, yes.
Yeah, and he threw away. Remember, Costanza threw away an apartment. He threw away floor tickets to Knick games because he was, too bad you're married. I would have given you floor tickets and everything else. Guy threw away guilt-free sex and season tickets to the Knicks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but honestly, and it really it bothers me so much because in this day and age with phones and videos and paparazzi, and you're not telling me that there is not a cameraman out there that hasn't been offered hundreds of thousands of dollars for one picture of this woman, and yet we don't have it.
Yeah.
Tell me, explain to me how we don't. Is she chained in a basement? She's got to leave the house.
Is she in a dark retreat?
What? You think everyone's like, well, he's a really nice guy. He wants to be very private. These people don't care.
No.
So next week there's a possibility that a couple of us will be on a podcast run by a Pittsburgh Steelers fan called. I'll throw it out there so people can.
Oh, can I bring this up on that pod?
I was just gonna say this would be a great thing to bring up there. So it's called the Berg Cave. So Burgh Cave. And I think it's fairly appropriate to ask what Steeler fans think about Rodgers and the Dick's antics. And you had to deal with that.
Yeah, well, look, and for first-time listeners, just so we're all clear, we call Aaron Rodgers the Dick. We're not being, graphic or anything else. That's just what we call him, and that's coined by you guys years ago. So for first-time listeners,
I think it was coined by Cardone.
It was. That is the nickname of this guy, and there's not a better nickname out there. And sadly, it's not taken on.
Did he? Now he did announce that this is his final year, or is that media making that up too?
He held yet another team hostage for the 5th year in a row. Who gets away with this, other than the Dick?
Nobody. No one. Right. No one can hold a team hostage like this guy.
It's unbelievable that this guy continues to get away with it. And and I hate him. I do, because we're already a ruined organization as it is, and he made it worse. And so I hope he fails miserably this next year. And I think he will, actually.
Steelers go under 500 possibly for the first time in ages.
I don't know what their over-under is, but whatever it is, I'm betting the under.
I'm almost going to guarantee that. If I have to guarantee something, absolutely. I say the Steelers. And because, again, no Tomlin for the first time in 21 years was he there? Yep. Like, this is the year. Like, Pittsburgh will not be over 500. This is the year. And it's going to be the first year that Tomlin's not there.
They're a 6-win team at best, I think.
I agree.
I looked at something the other day about coaching changes. And think about this. Cincinnati's coach, who was rumored that he was going to get fired, he's the only one staying in that division.
Wow.
The other 3 are gone.
Yeah.
So Stefanski's gone, Tomlin's gone, Harbaugh's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty wild that Harbaugh and Tomlin are gone in the same year, right?
And we were
longest tenured coaches,
same year. That's true.
And they're both gone the same year.
And the craziest thing was we were talking about getting Tomlin if the Steelers fired him, and then Harbaugh drops on our laps because the Ravens fired him first.
That's incredible. Yeah.
And it all came down to that missed field goal. You realize that if they had flipped positions, the Giants might have Tomlin as their coach right now, and Harbaugh would be the win.
Remember we saw that GIF or whatever with the field goal post, and then it was like Harbaugh fired, Tomlin fired with the uprights, whether it was wide right or left. And then whoever came up with that one, that's a genius.
That was pretty genius.
That was a great one.
So true though.
I love stuff like that.
That is really smart. And that kick changed your organization.
It did. A missed field goal by the Baltimore Ravens.
The Giants' fortunes.
It's incredible. You never know what's gonna make or break your franchise. Yeah.
Cardone, pet peeve.
Yeah. I got a quick one. I'm going to stick with. I wasn't really digging around for one. I'm going to stay with the NFL's schedule announcement theme and the production that this has turned into. And a simple peeve is it pisses me off when they tell me what the must-watch games are. You know what I mean? Must-see, must-watch games. Like, no, the must-watch games are the Giants games. You know what I mean? Like fucking Chiefs Clippers are not. It's not a must-watch for me. They do this must-watch stuff, and then here's their list. Someone decides whether it's the NFL Network, any one of these networks. They go through the list, and it'll be like Philly at Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. That's a must watch. Like, we're watching that anyway, people. It's Thanksgiving. What do you think I'm doing? It just pisses me off. It's just a simple pet peeve. But the must watch stuff, they put the most obvious games out there. It'll be like week 1, the kick off the season, Seattle, whoever that, they're playing the Rams or whatever, or no, the Rams. Or it's the Thanksgiving games, and then it'll be like, oh, Chiefs on Christmas Day playing somebody. Like, those are not must-watch games. That's just NFL scheduling games on major holidays that we always watch.
Yes,
it's not must-watch.
They also said that about like the Bills home opener, new stadium. Like, I don't care. They have a new stadium.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me at all. It's not a must watch at all. What are you
No,
talking about?
Like no, they would never say Jets Tennessee, but on our podcast, Jets Tennessee, that's a
must watch
fest.
for me.
That's a must watch for us.
Yeah,
you want our opinion? Jets at Tennessee, Mully's. We really are going to light that place up at 1 o'clock on
the hardest
Sunday.
part is how am I going to be able to function for my Giants at night that time?
Scott, we have to really, I don't know, we got to really like somehow pace ourselves that day, unless I bring a cot, to Mully's there. I don't know.
I'm thinking that might be a day off the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be.
I mean, that all day and then the Giants at night.
Yeah, that's a rough day.
There's something there to that. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough 24 hours right there.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, the thing about the schedule release too, why does it come out on a Thursday, but we know the majority of the games by Tuesday? Like this whole thing about these continual leaks, it's really just, if you're going to do it, make it a spectacle and just announce the schedule on a 3-hour show. Why release it throughout the week? Here are the primetime games. Here are the international games. Oh, by the way, here's the rest of the schedule. And by the time they give you the rest of the schedule, we could go to the websites of all of the teams that have like fan groups, and they've already told you what the schedule is.
It's already out there. Yeah.
We do our schedule before they announced it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, and I kind of wanted Mike on tonight for this one thing because we're playing in Australia. And it's on September 11th, which is the 25-year anniversary, which I think is wrong and it's the best game of the week, which really is one of them, Rams 49ers. And the shrimp on the Barbie comments that we're going to be getting through, like the puns, the Australia puns, and kicked them like a kangaroo. There's going to be all kinds of Crocodile Dundee, whatever. There's going to be so many stupid puns in that game. And Mike is just going to be annoyed as can be watching that game. Because he hates the puns more than anybody.
That's so true.
Not a knife. This is a knife.
Exactly. Australia, it's the other side of the world, and we have a game there. Okay, Mexico, fine. England, okay, I get it. Canada, close by. Australia, come on.
By the way, the stadium is the Melbourne Cricket Ground. That's the name of the stadium where they're playing. I mean, what is that? Field 6 and 7 in Lincroft, New Jersey. Remember Remember that, Novak?
The one's hidden in the back.
Yeah. Field, for some reason in our the Lincroft Little League where Novak and I grew up, you had a whole little league park, and then for some reason it was fields, and for some reason we didn't have a field 1. It was field 2, 3 through 7. Where was field 1? We don't know what field 1 was.
I don't think didn't
exist. And 6 and 7 was like a 3-mile jaunt down the road.
There was like a hidden like little path.
Yeah, you had to go in the back of a neighborhood.
Yeah,
very strange. I don't know.
It's bizarre.
I don't get this. Why can't you do it in a soccer stadium? You do it in a cricket. Like crickets are like it's a big circle. They don't have a bunch of stands there, like, do they? Like, it doesn't.
I don't know.
Like the NFL doesn't care about anything but the dollar.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, and it's probably not the greatest turf, and these guys are going to get hurt. You know it's going to happen, and they got to travel 24 hours to play a football game on a flight. Knock it off! Like, enough with this international. I mean, just play on the moon already. I'm tired of this.
First
Moon Bowl,
intergalactical game,
and you guys know what's coming, and it's going to be within the next 10 years. You know we're going to have. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
it's happening. It's going to be in London or some shit.
I agree.
It's going to happen.
There's going to be a Super Bowl in freaking like Ethiopia or something. Yeah,
100%. It's going to happen, and that will be the ultimate kick in the nuts if they do that.
Yep. And that would be the year. That would be the year the Jets are there, Novak.
Of course, it will be. Oh, absolutely, it'll be.
That's what you'll get. You'll wait in your whole life for a Jet appearance in the Super Bowl, and it'll be when it's in Nepal.
Moscow.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. Kazakhstan or something like that. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so right.
I'm just giving geography lessons here.
Where was it? Bourgeois? Where are they? Where are our fan from?
Beauharnois.
Beauharnois?
That's where Beauharnois. So, guys, it was an end of an era this week, by the way. Schlitz beer is no longer. And
what?
and when When I was growing up, there were two beers that were particularly bad to me: Schlitz and Schaefer.
Oh, Schaefer was rough.
Schaefer tasted like perfume for some reason to me. It
Oh.
was one of the worst
bad.
beers I've ever had.
Schaefer, when I was a freshman in college, they still had the pull tabs. Remember the pull tabs?
Oh, yeah, the pull
they
tabs.
just rip all the way off,
rip
right?
all the way off,
Yeah.
and 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't get it. You'd rip it off right, and you'd be stuck. You're like taking a knife to it, trying to open it.
Then you had to delicately drink from it because otherwise you risk cutting your lip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't Schlitz's motto the beer to have when you're having more than one?
Yeah. No, that was Schaefer's. It was
Schaefer.
Yeah.
Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. And then of course, the advertising agency and they had to change because that was like, well, we can't. That's promoting excessive drinking. So they changed the jingle to Schaefer is the one beer to have when it's time to have some fun.
That's right. They did. I didn't even forget.
They changed it from when you're having more than one
God.
to when it's time to have some fun. So that's again, the pussification started with Schaefer. Really, I think the pussification of America started with Schaefer. Now Novak, being a Met fan, you must remember Schaefer was like the official beer of like the Mets. Remember?
Absolutely. Yeah, it was in the outfield. They had the big logo out there.
That's right.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, but that tracks.
I think they might have also had a was it Rheingold maybe they had at the old Shea Stadium. They had one of those
was it Meisterbrow maybe?
Maybe it was Meisterbrow. Yeah. They had,
but I know what you're talking about. There was an odd one.
Ballantine maybe beer with the pretzel.
Yep,
something like the logo.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking
pretzel
about?
One. Yes, I do. Yeah. Whatever that was.
Oh, that was Ballantine.
Was it Ballantine?
I think it was Ballantine.
I think it was Ballantine. And Yankee Stadium always had the Getty. Remember the Getty gasoline? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, that was the jingle on WPIX.
It was.
Remember?
I went to a Yankee game and I got a hard hat. Remember when they did the helmets? And I had a big Getty's thing on the side. And I was like,
yes.
Now this thing sucks. And I hate the Yankees anyway, but I got a big Getty thing on my hard helmet.
Who was the sports store that always sponsored Yankees? Modell's?
Oh, Modell's.
Modell's. Yeah.
And PC Richard was another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always hated those game day giveaways because they always had, again, it was always like, there was what was the milk brand? It was always a milk brand, like Delwood or some shit like that.
I know what you're talking about because I had a rain jacket that
rain
was a
jacket,
milk brand,
Scott. Yes,
and I buttoned it up, and I went to unbutton it, and they all like ripped apart.
Always ripped apart, but yeah. But if you got a hat or like a helmet, it was always, it had the big Getty logo or some shit on there.
I can't remember what the dairy one was now. Though,
you know what I'm talking about, though, right? Yeah. It was always a dairy one. It was like Delwood or Del Farms or something like that. I don't know why I'm saying Del, but it had something to do with that.
Yankees always they went more mainstream. They were like, "Hey, Greg Nettles, this bud's for you." When you get home run across the whole place.
The Yankees actually had really good promotional giveaway nights. They much better than the Mets ever were at that.
Yeah.
Well, the Mets, of course, they had their. This was going to be my pet peeve. They had their lineup announced by a guy from SpongeBob SquarePants last night. So that tracked
Patrick?
Well.
Was it Patrick?
I think so. I don't know that show, but I think it was Patrick.
Was he a starfish?
I don't remember, but they just talked about it on the radio. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And last year they did Hawk Tua, so I mean,
Jesus Christ! Yeah, where's she today? Back to where she belongs, nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't call it 15 minutes for anything.
Yeah.
So we do have some questions this week. So Peacock asked, and Cardone touched upon this. What do we think about the NFL having games every day of the week but Tuesday? And I hate it. I mean, guys. We're traditionalists, and I know Mike is in the same boat. We want Sunday 1:00, and that's why Novak loves the Jets schedule, and he should.
I do.
Sunday 1:00 football. He's got better.
Yep.
He's done after 1:00. He's done at 4. He can do whatever he wants before
Sunday 1 and 4. Yeah. No, I think it's a joke. The NFL seems to be obviously pushing this narrative. And
how long do you think before we get a game on Tuesday?
Oh, it's coming. Why not?
Well, I mean, Christmas Day is going to be on Tuesday at some point.
Exactly.
True. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. It's coming. And I guess it's just like Thanksgiving with the Lions and Cowboys. I guess it's the Chiefs now. Let's be honest. It's probably the Chiefs now, Christmas Day, right? Aren't they the team that's been playing
every... that's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that.
It's probably going to be the Chiefs every year now on Christmas. No, it's brutal.
It's too much, and it's oversaturation, and that's why, this is not why it's only getting worse. And 3,000 different streaming games and everything else. It is. Oh, so here are the three games on Christmas now. Uh,
Three.
Packers Bears on Netflix, Bills Broncos on Netflix, and Rams Seahawks on Fox. Three great games that I'm not going to watch.
Oh, I guess I thought the Chiefs were on because they're not on Christmas Day this year.
No.
So okay,
I think they're the
scratch my
Black Friday.
comment then.
Are they the Black Friday team?
Oh God.
Maybe, but
Black Friday, good God.
Here's something crazy. Like one of my favorite, if not my favorite, all right, Thanksgiving Day and night is one of my favorite days of the year, and for obvious reasons, they also Christmas Eve night is like my favorite night of the year. Just because it's Christmas Eve, family, friends, So imagine like Texans Eagles at Philly. So now you're talking about East Coast. They have an 8:15 game, 8:15 p.m. on December 24th. So now the NFL is saying we don't fucking care about Christmas Eve night now anymore. That's when that's when the country just shuts down. A Christmas Eve night is like
it's nothing sacred.
Yes. And now that the Eagles have a home game on Christmas Eve night at 8:15. I don't know. I would not be crazy. Me, again, I'm a crusty old guy. I would not be happy with that. If I'm a season ticket holder, I would not want to be dragging my ass to, because you're getting home at 2 a.m, whatever. Now, maybe I sound like an old,
now, come on,
whatever,
you're not, because what if you've got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old?
Yeah.
You're going to go to watch the Eagle game on Christmas Eve? What kind of asshole are you?
I don't know. It's bad.
I mean, I guess that's smart. They did it for Eagle fans because they're the only ones that would do it. But I mean, that would make sense. By the way, it's Black Friday is Broncos Steelers, so they can do all the Paint It Black commercials.
Oh my God! Right.
So Peacock also asks, or states, Dallas 3 games in 11 days twice this year. Agree that they always get screwed. I'm going to disagree that they always get screwed because the Cowboys usually have a favorable schedule. But welcome to what the Giants have dealt with over the years. Three games in 11 days twice sounds like a Giants screw job like we're used to. I hate it. I hate this because we were talking about AWS earlier and the perfect schedule and blah blah blah. I hate that these anomalies exist, and they do for every team. Like we talk about with the Giants, we've ranted about it before. Peacock's seeing it with the Cowboys.
Well, I'm seeing what he's talking about there. So if he's talking about weeks 10, 11, and 12, right, they play on, but those are just regular, that's Sunday, and then Thursday. So they do that every Thanksgiving, because they play every year. And all 3 of those games, guess where? Every one of them are at home. So you have, you're playing that many.
He did say 3 games in 11 days twice. So
okay, I'm looking to see where the other one
that
is.
happens?
Twice.
That seems wrong.
That is pretty crazy.
Is it the beginning of the season?
It is. It's actually, so they do the same thing. So they play Sunday, then Thursday night against, so yes, weeks 3, 4, and 5, they have Baltimore at home, at Houston, and then they have a Thursday night game versus Tampa. So 2 of the 3 are at home, and the other road game is only right in Houston. Houston.
3 tough teams too.
Yeah. But yeah, that is pretty tough. But that's what we're talking about with the NFL. This is because there's games, once they introduced the Thursday night game years ago, every single week, this is going to happen. You're going to have, it's just going to happen where teams are playing these bunched up schedules.
I mean, if you want to say we're America's team, suck it up. Sorry.
Right. I'm not going to feel sorry for the Cowboys. That's for sure.
I mean, and they get every call. So, sorry, Peacock, but I mean, you're America's team. Every Cowboy fan likes to talk about that. Guess what? You're going to get these types of primetime, weird Thursday night, Thanksgiving. That's just comes with the territory. You're not a sucky franchise like I deal with.
One other note here. I'm looking at the Cowboys schedule here. Weeks 5, 6, and 7. They play 3 consecutive weeks in prime time. Can we stop and knock that nonsense off too?
I agree with that. That's too much.
I mean, now we have it's 3 weeks in a row, and in prime time with the same team. Why?
They're not.
They can't space it out.
Did Did Dallas miss the playoffs last year?
Yes, they stunk.
Yes.
So why are we giving them this many prime
Because they're the Cowboys. That's what I mean.
Exactly.
That's comes to the territory.
Why do the Giants get as many primetime games that they always did? Giants are on primetime every year, like 4 times. Like they stink.
I had when we had Rodgers, we had 8 primetime games that year.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
I mean, for the Jets, and everyone hates the Jets. They're stupid and boring. Why would you want to watch them?
So Peacock's last question brings up a good point that we're talking about. This is the least number of Sunday games ever, 214. Is that a problem? And
Yes.
this ties back to his first question. I think it is, because Sunday should be the day for football. We talk about it all the time. We don't want to see all these games on Thursdays, on Fridays, on Saturdays. Definitely not Fridays.
No.
Saturday's the last 2 weeks of the year. I still hate that, although you see that, and you see that during the playoffs too. Football should be on Sundays. I would be happy if they went back to Sundays and Sunday night. That's it. Maybe a Monday night.
Monday night, I'm fine.
Monday
with Monday
night's
night.
fine. Yeah,
I mean, that's an institution.
But I don't think Monday night is what Monday night was.
No,
you know what I mean?
but it's not because there are games every other night of the week. It's not special anymore because you have them on Thursday night and Friday and Wednesday and Saturday.
That's right.
So it's not a big deal anymore. I also don't think I hate the international 9 o'clock game. I hate it. Every year I hate those games. It should be 1-4 Sunday night, Monday night.
You know how many times I've woken up and gone, oh shit, there's a game on.
Of course.
And it's like in the middle of the second quarter, but of course it's like Jacksonville versus Indianapolis or something.
Atlanta, Minnesota. Like I give 2 craps about that game.
I love how it's reversed for like I always have some interest in NFC games, but Novak being the AFC guy,
that's true.
That's how I am with AFC games. Like if it's London and it's freaking Bengals versus Dolphins, I'm like, God, who cares?
Yeah, I know. That's very true because I don't care about the NFC.
Yeah, it's funny, right? Like,
I said Indy Jaguars. It's like
you did. I mean,
2 AFC teams.
Yep.
My friend Mike asks, in looking at each of our schedules, which is the biggest upset that you see this year? For the Giants, I see week 13 at home against San Francisco being a possible upset. That's the one I've targeted. I mean, not non-divisional games he's mentioned. So, if you take the divisional games out of play, which I do think we're going to beat Philly one of the games, but
if I have to go
San Fran.
Okay. Non-divisional, I mean, is it too much of a stretch? Maybe the Giants somehow go into Houston and get that win. I know it's a great defense, if they play like they did last year, but if CJ Stroud plays the way he is capable of playing, and the Giants defense is as good as advertised, and we can just get after that guy, maybe the Giants go into Houston and somehow steal one there.
I thought about that game too.
Yeah. So if I had to pick one, I'm not going to give you Seattle. I'd probably go. I'm looking at Houston was one that kind of popped out for me.
For me, I don't think I'm going to say Jets Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as good as we think. At least I hope not. I could see the Jets shocking the world and going in there and picking them off in the middle of the season. Chiefs are probably thinking it's a waste game. They have a couple of tough games around it they'll look past the Jets. I could see that one. I'm not saying it's going to happen. If I had to pick one, I'm going there.
It is tough though to win in Kansas City. When I was looking at your schedule, I was thinking that you might be able to win at home against Denver. After the bye.
The only other one I thought is I could see the Jets beating the Patriots at home. That's the only other one. But you said not division.
Non-division,
Yeah, but if I was going in the division, I would say Patriots.
Mike also asks our biggest chance to lose a game that we might be favored in that isn't divisional. And when I look at the Giants schedule, the one that stands out to me might be the Cleveland game, week 15. And only because I don't know what Cleveland holds. Like I don't think they're losing against Tennessee or Arizona. I don't think they're losing against New Orleans at home. So for me, I don't know how many games we're going to be favored in. So
Not many. Yeah.
that whittles it down there. So I'm thinking maybe Cleveland is the one that stands out.
For me, yeah, it's kind of hard. Looking earlier in the year, and then the Giants. I mean, the Giants are not going to be favored in many games. I mean, I could see them. Uh, Cleveland's not bad. I mean, maybe. I mean, why not? I could see them losing, and I don't know that they would be favored. Probably not. I mean, not after last year's record, but I don't think I want to pick one of the early games. I could see them losing to Jacksonville at
Oh
home.
yeah. I was going to pick Jacksonville, but I figured the
Yeah,
Giants aren't going to be favored. So
so yeah, if you're going by true upset, where like Jacksonville, but I could see them losing to Jacksonville at home. Like it just, that's one of those games that just you can almost see it, just playing out. It's hard because that's week 11. You don't know what it's so deep into the season, but that would be if I'm just kind of taking a flyer, Jacksonville at home, why not?
This is very easy for me. Very easy question. You absolutely can see the Jets losing to the guy they really wanted at the number one pick and losing to the Raiders at home and watching Mendoza light them up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That's exact. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to happen, just so that we're all clear. That will happen.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If that does happen, you're going to have problems with your organization, I think.
No doubt. I think we're gonna have problems anyway, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike also asks if we're going to see a high percentage of Giants fans at the home opener, or will there be a lot of Dallas fans, given what traditionally happens? And I'll say this: look, we got Harbaugh in, we got a home opener. Giants are 0-0. I think you're going to see that place loud and packed with Giant fans. It is a night game on a Sunday night, which traditionally you do see some Dallas fans in, but with the Harbaugh effect in place, I think people want to be there for the home opener for Harbaugh era.
Yes, I mean, there's always Cowboy fans. Even when, I mean, I grew up on season tickets, and even when the Giants were winning Super Bowls, Dallas would come in, and there's freaking Dallas fans there. So that's something that is always going to be there. But I agree with you, Scott, to a degree where I don't think there's going to be as many Cowboy fans at this game as there would be in years past because of the anticipation and excitement for game one. So there's definitely going to be, but I don't think you're going to hear it's on the TV you're going to hear it's going to be Giants. It's going to be predominantly Giant fans, but yes, Dallas, they're always there. So there'll be some for sure because it's Dallas, but I don't think it's going to. Hopefully, the Giants will give them no reason to freaking we have to hear them at all.
The excitement for the Giants this year is going to be off the charts, especially going into the start of the year, no doubt.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
You should be. You've got a quarterback. You've got a new coach. Yeah. Young players, you got Coffee Boy making all the right moves. I know you guys are in good shape.
And I'll say this because I think it does matter. Like if the Knicks win a championship in a couple of weeks, like what that does for the other New York teams, because it's the same fan base as essentially, you know what I mean? Like that will resonate. It just will.
Absolutely.
It'll resonate at Yankees.
The ticker tape parade. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. It'll just resonate with other New York teams. So there'll be like that game. I can already see people wearing Knick jerseys and stuff. The Knicks will be there probably. They'll show a camera like Brunson will be they'll be at the game. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like I can already see all of it. If the Knicks somehow manage to win this championship, they will be in that stadium, and you're sure as shit ain't gonna lose. Maybe the 80. When are the Giants doing the 86 celebration? This is 40 years since Super Bowl 21.
Oh,
when are they doing the celebration? Are they doing something that night?
I don't know. I've not heard that yet.
So this is yes, I know. So I know the Giants are doing something to celebrate. This is 40th anniversary of Super Bowl 21. So I don't know if they've announced.
I'm old.
Dude, we were in high school when the Giants won in Super Bowl 21. I was a senior in high school. If they do something that night, you can't lose, man. You can't. The Knicks will be in the stadium. The fucking Sims and Taylor and Carson and Martin, they're going to be there. Like you can't lose, man.
I was thinking about that when I made that comment about all the Knicks. The old Knicks sitting courtside. It would be like having Yogi Berra sitting next to Don Mattingly, rooting on the Yankees, because you have like the Walt Frazier's there with those guys. And Walt's got the hippest outfit out of everyone.
Yeah, because it's been 53 freaking years. exactly. It's
crazy.
It's dinosaurs, trying to sit in courtside or sit in sideline.
So their last championship was 72, right?
73.
73.
They won in 71 and 73. But it's interesting that when you bring up the 86 Giants, they were saying that the Knicks run, the only other dominant New York sports team run to a championship was the 86 Giants. They mirrored that because I don't remember it like you guys probably do. But when they started saying those scores, like you dusted off the Vikings, I think, in the first round or something, and the Niners like 49-3 or something.
Yeah.
Or
that was
Jerry.
Like that. Jerry Rice had the ball go off his leg.
Yeah,
like you didn't barely sweat out any playoff game. Then
they beat the
first
Niners
half of the
49
Super Bowl.
3.
They did.
Yeah, but then you went on to destroy them.
And it's funny because I could recount that. They beat the Niners 49-3 in a very cold game in Giant Stadium. Jerry Rice early on caught a ball. Looked like he was going to break through, and he hit his leg and fumbled. The next game was the Redskins. They beat 17-0.
I do remember that.
It should have been 34-0, but it was another brutally cold game. And then obviously they went to the and beat the Broncos.
The Broncos. Yep.
You guys got anything else tonight?
Go Knicks.
Don't. Yeah. And just go Knicks. Go New York. Go New York. Go.
Let's go. Let's just make this thing happen. Can I please just get a championship? I just want one.
So I will. One more. I will put some things on socials about if we do a podcast with the Pittsburgh group. The other thing is we're probably not going to be back until the start of training camp because we've now done the draft review. We've done the schedule recap, and like Novak said, this is our longest break before we go to training camp.
Preseason. Yeah.
Yep. And we'll put information out there about the live pod, which there's already been discussion already. They're already asking me when do we want to do it, so we'll do that. And then we were also talking about bringing on, potentially people for shorter, spots to talk about their teams, and we'll see if we can get that going or, kick it up a little bit in the preseason.
We play the Browns this year. We play a couple other teams that we know we have some fans of that we can bring on.
I got a Titans person that wants to come on.
What? They exist?
My daughter's boyfriend is apparently a big Titans fan, so he's like, "I'll come on your pod and talk about the Titans." I'm like, "We got the solid game week 1, man. You got to learn this game."
Yeah, gonna learn the hard way.
That's right. Well,
that might be one way to ruin a relationship.
That's fair. No, but yeah, we'll shake it up this year. Do some different stuff. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So we thank everyone for listening, especially our people in Ireland and Sweden. But
Inga
for Sweden. But keep on touch with us. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on and let you know.
All right.
Have a good one. Go Knicks.
Thanks. Go Knicks.